Hi, my name is Steve Burke. Some of you may know me as an attorney who's been practicing in Florida for 35 years now, doing a wide variety of matters, everything from civil to family to criminal. Some of you may recognize me as being the attorney that's challenging Judge Dawn Fields for her seat in the Volusia County Court. And unfortunately, I'm afraid a lot more of you may recognize me as being the attorney facing Judge Sued. In an article back in April in the News Journal, in a wonderful bit of investigative reporting, the News Journal dug up the fact that Judge Fields is African American and I am not. And so they started off their article by saying, a white DeLand attorney who is seeking to unseat the only black judge in the Seventh Circuit has been accused of defamation. I'd like to clear up a couple misperceptions for those of you who may not have read the whole article and bring you up to speed on some more recent developments that are occurring in Judge Fields' re-election campaign treasury. First off, I need to direct your attention to a particular case called Advantacare of Florida versus Windhaven Insurance. The case number is 2017-31432 COCI. This is called a PIP suit. It's an action for compensation from a PIP carrier that was brought by Advantacare of Florida, a healthcare provider. I can't tell you how much this case was for, although it was filed as a small claims action. Most of these cases that we've seen are filed as actions under $100. This one, I believe, was actually in the neighborhood of $2,500, but there's no indication anywhere in the case as to how much this was actually for. In these PIP suits, and by the way, there are a multitude of them, this case was filed by the Davila Law Group from Altamont Springs in March of 2017. The attorneys involved in that firm have filed about 12,000 of these cases in Volusia County from 2017 to the present. At any rate, this particular case has a unique cover sheet in it that states venue is proper in Daytona Beach, Florida. At the time, the clerk was relying on an assertion like that when there was no other identifying information in the case to assign it to a courthouse, and this case got assigned to Judge Dawn Fields. Toward the end of the year, there was a determination made that the plaintiff would prevail in this suit, and accordingly, under the law, the plaintiff is entitled to recover attorney's fees. On December 7th, 2017, Judge Fields signed a final judgment awarding attorney's fees and costs to the attorneys involved, and found that the attorneys representing the plaintiff were entitled to recover $27,475 in attorney's fees. That award was substantiated by the use of an expert who came up from Orlando. He was awarded $8,085 for 14.7 hours worth of preparation and testimony, for a grand total of something in excess of $35,000, I believe. Actually, there's an error in math right here, and that award to the attorneys is inflated by an extra $1,000 and change. I'm not sure how that happened. I think it was probably just a scrivener's error. No one caught it. At any rate, the attorneys representing the plaintiff, shortly thereafter, as a matter of fact, the next day, Judge Fields designated a campaign treasury, a bank, to serve as her treasury, and shortly thereafter opened a campaign re-election account with a $1,000 contribution from the attorneys that benefited from the $27,000 award, together with another $1,000 contribution from those attorneys. At that point, or actually shortly thereafter, I noticed that these attorneys had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cases set on Judge Fields' dockets. Sometimes in a morning she would have 60, 70, 100 cases brought by these lawyers, all set before her at the same time. I wrote her a letter and said in the letter, basically, Judge, I don't think it's a good idea for a sitting judge to be accepting campaign contributions, particularly of this magnitude, from a law firm that is from outside of Volusia County and has many hundreds of cases pending in front of you. That was a major mistake. That led to the attorneys filing an action against me for defamation. So for those of you who think that Judge Fields was suing me for defamation, that's not correct. That also resulted in this law firm's secretary immediately thereafter contributing $1,000 to Judge Fields' re-election campaign. Judge Fields also accepted another $1,000 from another attorney in the firm, $1,000 from that attorney's husband, another $1,000 from another attorney in the firm, another $1,000 from an attorney who's mentioned in this order, another $1,000 from that attorney's husband, another $1,000 from that attorney's independent law firm. And shortly thereafter, the expert who had been awarded the $8,000 in fees, Judge Fields accepted $1,000 from him, from Orlando, $1,000 from his partner from Orlando, $1,000 from their law firm from Orlando, $1,000 from another attorney in their firm, another $1,000 from another attorney in their firm, another $1,000 from another attorney in their firm. Two attorneys kicked in $500 each, but I put them down on a $1,000 card because I was running short on green paper at that time. Now, shortly after that, there are four companies from Sanford, located at 1708 Lexington Green, who have ownership interest in healthcare clinics that are oftentimes seen as plaintiffs in these PIP suits. One of them is listed, their business is listed as being unknown. Judge Fields accepted a $1,000 contribution from that business. Another business at the same address, 1708 Lexington Green, took $1,000, gave it to Judge Fields. Another company that's actually a Delaware corporation, but is authorized to do business in Florida and is located at that 1708 Lexington Green address, contributed $1,000. One of the individuals involved with, I believe, all four of these corporations has an interest in some other businesses that are healthcare clinics and owned locally by a chiropractor. That healthcare business threw in $1,000. Another one of those threw in $1,000. Another plaintiff in these suits that's related to the Simoes attorneys threw in $1,000. Another clinic threw in $1,000. The chiropractor himself threw in $1,000. Now, this is particularly interesting in light of the fact that in this case, the attorney from Orlando testified as an expert in support of the Davila Law Group and the associated attorneys in their attorney fee claim. A couple of years ago, when Judge Green was hearing these cases in New Smyrna, she had a case where she awarded $43,000 in legal fees and expert fees, and in that case, Simoes testified as the expert, and the Orlando attorney represented the plaintiff. And shortly thereafter, Judge Green was the very proud recipient of, I don't know, $40-some thousand in campaign contributions that were used to open her re-election campaign. I think that this is incredibly wrong. I think it sends a message to the public that, frankly, we don't want to have sent. I have asked Judge Fields not to accept contributions like this. I'm asking all future judicial candidates not to accept contributions like this. And I would ask you, if you are concerned when you see something like this, make your voice known. Send me an email and reply, ask me any questions you want. I'll back this up with case numbers, with campaign contribution records from the Supervisor of Elections, and I'll give you some additional information that I think should shock you. If it doesn't shock you, we all as attorneys have become a little bit too cynical. Thank you so much for your time.